Every spring, early childhood business owners and operators, well, they scramble to fill summer camps and focus on fall enrollment. This sends last minute emails. There are posting frantic open spots announcements and then hoping the right families see them in time. Now, if this sounds familiar, you are not behind because you are bad at marketing. You are behind because nobody taught you that enrollment, well, it's a year-round system, not a seasonal emergency. Confident early childhood operators, CEOs, they don't chance enrollment. They build a strategic calendar and a nurture pipeline that keeps spots filling months before the deadline. So today, I'm giving you the exact spring enrollment framework that makes sold out summers and full fall rosters happen on purpose. Welcome to the Early Childhood Business Made Easy podcast. I'm Kelly Peak, your host, and I'm super excited to help you find more of that time and freedom, and most importantly, peace and profit that you so deserve. Now, for many of us right now, it's almost May. You look at your summer camp roster and maybe you realize that you're only half full, or maybe it's June and you're starting out with a fall enrollment number that should already be locked in, but isn't. You send a quick email to your list, you post a few spots still available reminders on Instagram, and then you cross your fingers that the phone is going to ring. Does any of this sound familiar? Now, I know because I've been there more times than I care to admit, and I'm here to tell you that the scramble, well, it's completely avoidable when you have a system. Now, here's the thing about enrollment that most generic marketing advice, well, it gets completely wrong. Filling those seats in your early childhood business isn't a marketing problem. It's a timing and pipeline problem. The families who are going to enroll in your fall program, well, they're already out there right now. It's spring and they are just not in your pipeline yet. And if you wait too long, like until August to start the conversation, you're having it 6 months too late. In the 30 years of operating preschools, play cafes, and enrichment programs, I've learned that the businesses with the longest wait lists and the most predictable enrollment, well, they aren't the ones doing the most marketing. They're the ones doing the most strategic nurturing, and they started months ago. So today, we are talking about how to build a spring enrollment push that's going to fill your summer camps and lock in your fall enrollment before you ever get to that panic stage. The 3 things we're going to talk about today are, number 1, build your spring enrollment calendar using the revenue roadmap. Number 2, activate your ACE inquiry system to convert spring leads into enrolled families for the fall. And number 3, use your current families to fill your pipeline through the loyalty lead system. Now, I've got the 12-month revenue roadmap. It's waiting for you as your free resource at kellypeak.com, where you find information about this podcast episode number 177. So use this revenue roadmap today and follow along. It is the strategic calendar your business needs. Now, enrollment, it isn't a reaction, it's a rhythm. And when you build a strategic enrollment calendar and a family nurture system that works 12 months a year, you are going to replace that spring scramble with predictable, proactive growth that's going to run whether you are in the classroom or not. Now, that's how a confident early childhood operator builds a business that builds itself. So she can finally lead with the time freedom lifestyle instead of operating in survival mode every quarter. Now, here's a question that might reframe everything for you. When you think about the families who will enroll in your fall program, where are they right now? They're not sitting in August wondering where to enroll their child. They're doing that in April or May. Attending spring events, scrolling social media, asking other parents and friends for recommendations, and quietly forming opinions about which programs that they feel are trustworthy before they ever make a call. If your outreach doesn't start until summer, you're entering a conversation that other early childhood businesses started 3 months ago. The operators with waitlists, they aren't more talented than you, they just started earlier. The 12-month revenue roadmap, I've built that for preschool businesses and play cafes. This is for the Preschool Business Blueprint, our course in our Shine membership and CEO mentorship program. It maps exactly when the key enrollment activities need to happen across the calendar year. And the numbers tell a clear story. February is when you send fall re-enrollment forms to returning families and collect registration fees. March is when summer camp enrollment launches with clear session options. And April is when you open your waitlist to new families and conduct your first financial audit. By May, you should be finalizing your school year calendar and filling those remaining spots, not starting the conversation. When we implemented this calendar at Peak Academy, the shift from reactive to proactive enrollment, it was the single biggest factor in moving our program to a consistent waitlist status. Now, the strategy, it's not complicated. The timing, that is everything. Now, I worked with a preschool director who had been operating for 6 years with a beautiful program, a great reputation, and a completely reactive enrollment process. Every fall, she'd spend August in a near panic trying to fill those spots left by the graduating families. And every spring, she'd cobble together summer camp sessions and hope enough families would sign up to make them financially viable. Now, she wasn't struggling because of her program quality. She was struggling because she had no enrollment calendar and no family pipeline. Marketing happened when she remembered to do it, or should I say when she had time. Now, when we sat down and mapped out her revenue roadmap together, the first thing she noticed was how much activity was supposed to happen in the January through April window that she had been completely skipping. She had never sent a formal re-enrollment communication to returning families in February. She had never launched her summer camps in March, and she had never formally opened her waitlist in April to build anticipation before those spots were available. We built her a simple enrollment calendar with the ACE inquiry system to handle incoming leads and the loyalty lead system to activate her existing families. The following spring was the first time in 6 years that she entered summer with both sessions sold out and fall at nearly 80% capacity before June. Now, she told me it felt like a completely different business. Same families, same program, completely different system. And that's what having a rhythm is going to do for you. So let's now focus on the first of those 3 strategies. Strategy number 1 is build your spring enrollment calendar using the revenue roadmap. Now, the most powerful shift you can make in how you operate your enrollment is moving from a reactive mindset, posting open spots when you're worried, to more of a proactive calendar where every key enrollment action has a dedicated month and a clear purpose. That's what we call the 12-month revenue roadmap, and that is exactly what it's going to do for you. Now, let me walk you through the spring window specifically, because this is where most early childhood businesses either build real momentum or they lose months of opportunity. January is your tuition review month. So before you market anything, you need to know your numbers. Analyze your current tuition rates, identify any mid-year fee collections, and begin planning for any increases that will take effect in August. Families need advance notice of tuition changes, and handling this in January gives you the time to communicate that change with transparency and confidence before the re-enrollment is going to open. Now, February, that is re-enrollment month. This is when you reach out to your current families first before you open anything to new families, and you invite them to secure their spot for the next fall. A formal re-enrollment process communicates value. It tells families that this program is in demand and that their spot isn't automatically guaranteed. It also generates early registration. That registration fee, that is going to be revenue that will help you smooth out your spring cash flow. So many businesses skip this step and then they wonder why returning families drift to other programs between spring and fall. A February re-enrollment communication, well, it's going to close that gap. Now, March is when you launch your summer camps with clear session structures, your pricing, and your registration. Not in late May when school's almost out. March. This gives you 10 to 12 weeks to fill your programs before summer begins, and it signals to your families that you are organized, professional, and in demand. It also allows you to offer an early registration incentive that's going to create urgency without desperation. And then there's April. April is when you open your waitlist and new family enrollment. You conduct your first financial audit of the year and begin filling any remaining spots. Now, your financial audit is going through your existing tuitions, collections, however you collect revenue, and just make sure everything is being done correctly. Now, by this point, your returning families, well, they're already secured. Your summer camps, well, they're on their way to being full, and you are marketing from a position of confidence rather than scarcity. May, that is your finalization month. The school year calendar, you're locking that in. Your paperwork is actually going out before the end of the school year, believe it or not. Those last remaining spots are getting filled. So by June, families should be receiving their back to school materials before summer even starts. This is going to make your fall so much easier. So that fall launch, it's going to feel exciting rather than chaotic. Every single month has a job. And when you follow the revenue roadmap, enrollment isn't a campaign, it's a calendar. So the action steps I want you to take, I want you to download the Early Childhood Business Made Easy podcast revenue roadmap. It's at kellypeak.com. Again, where you're going to find information about this podcast on the website at kellypeak.com, you will find the revenue roadmap. And I want you to map your current enrollment activities against that calendar. Identify the months where you're currently operating with no strategic activity happening, and then close those gaps. You want your enrollment urgency coming in, and you want to see where that is coming from. Next, I want you to send your February re-enrollment communication this week if you haven't yet. So if you haven't started your re-enrollment process, I want you to start doing that. Or block time on your calendar so you can do it in the next 2 weeks. Now, usually that means we send out whatever our new tuitions are going to be for the fall with our re-enrollment letter. And we let families know that we are going to hold their spot and give them the first option to re-enroll. But then after that, we're going to open it up to the public, and there's no guarantee. Now, even if it's March or April, a formal re-enrollment letter outreach to your current families, it's never too late. Don't wait for perfect timing. Start now. Now, on to strategy number 2, activate your ACE inquiry system to convert spring leads into those enrolled families. You can have the best enrollment calendar in the world, but if incoming inquiries are falling through the cracks, if a parent texts on a Wednesday and doesn't hear back until Friday, if tours are getting scheduled without a consistent follow-up process, if families who toured in March are sitting in your maybe pile with no next step, your calendar isn't working. The ACE inquiry system is what makes sure every lead that comes in during your spring enrollment push, well, it actually converts. ACE stands for attract, communicate, and enroll. And it's the systematic process inside Module 3 of our Preschool Business Blueprint for our Shine CEO mentors that are in our mentorship program. This is going to take a family from first contact all the way to their first day. Now, in the context of spring enrollment, this system does something specific and essential. It ensures that no interested family gets lost between the I'm thinking about it stage and we're officially enrolled stage. The ACE system starts with a first contact process that is fast, warm, and consistent. When a parent calls or emails during your spring enrollment push, they should receive a message response within 24 hours, ideally on the same day. That response follows a clear structure. So acknowledge their inquiry, gather key information, use your new family inquiry form, and move them immediately toward a scheduled tour or a next step. Not a vague, feel free to come in anytime, but a specific scheduled tour appointment. Now, again, there are different systems you can use. Many have a CRM, a customer retention process they use inside of their financial tracking software. So for example, Brightwheel or Line Leader or Lilo, if you have any of those, ProCare, you may already have that. Sometimes you don't have enough bandwidth to use one of those bigger programs. That's okay, but have a system. That's why in our CEO mentorship program, we coach a simple paper system in addition to having one of those fancier systems, because sometimes the paper system is all you can do, but at least it gets done. That's the key. It doesn't matter whether you're using pen and paper or you're using the computer, just have a system that gets it done. Now, the tour itself is where the enrollment happens, not the paperwork, not the follow-up email. The tour is your moment to make the relationship real. A consistent tour process with a welcome packet ready, the classroom prepared, or if you're touring birthday parties, your birthday party area displayed in a way that they can actually see what kind of party they might have, your team briefed, and a specific close at the end. Well, those are all the things that are going to convert curious families into committed ones at a dramatically higher rate than a casual walkthrough. Now, don't think of the tour as selling. Think of it as confirming what they've already started to believe about your program from marketing. They've arrived wanting to say yes. And your job, my friend, is to make it easy for them. So after the tour, the ACE system gives you a structured follow-up sequence, handwritten thank you note or a same-day text, a follow-up call 1 week later, a follow-up email within 2 weeks, and a long-term nurture pathway for families who aren't quite ready to commit, but you want them in your pipeline. Now, this process means you never lose a good lead to forgetting to follow up, because the system, it tells you exactly what happens next at every stage. Now, for play cafes and enrichment programs, that ACE system, well, it applies to party bookings and class registration just as powerfully as to preschool enrollment. Anytime a family expresses interest and then doesn't convert immediately, the follow-up sequence is what closes the gap. So same thing with birthday parties. When they come in and they do a party planning session with us, we send them a thank you card. We put them in the pipeline. They get an email, they get a text, and so on. Now, action steps I want you to take here. I want you to audit your current inquiry to enrollment process against the 6 ACE checkpoints. Do you respond to every inquiry within 24 hours? Do you have a set structure for giving tours? Do you send thank you notes after your tours or your party planning processes? Do you follow up if they don't immediately enroll? Does your team know the full process? And any no or sometimes, that is a gap costing you enrollment for the spring. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to create a simple enrollment binder or identify your digital CRM tracker this week. I want you to have tabs for your new inquiries, your scheduled tours, your follow-up email, your follow-up call, your second follow-up email, and future enrollment. Even a well-organized paper binder is going to turn and transform your ability to track and follow up with every family and make sure they move into your spring pipeline. Again, whichever you use, your computer or pen and paper and a binder, just choose one that works best for you. And finally, strategy number 3, use your current families to fill your pipeline through the loyalty lead system. So if you're doing spring enrollment and you're doing marketing exclusively to attract brand new families, you're working harder than you need to. Your single most powerful enrollment strategy this spring, it isn't social media. It's not a campaign. It's not an email blast to a cold list or maybe a new flyer at the pediatrician's office. Those are all good, but it's the parents already inside your program, the ones who love you. They love what you do, and they would happily tell a friend in a heartbeat if you gave them a clear, simple way to do it. So the loyalty lead system is a framework inside, again, our preschool business blueprint. For those of you that are CEO mentors, you have access to this. It's going to turn your happiest current families into your most effective enrollment engine. So at Peak Academy, when we implemented a formal referral system, 42% of our new enrollments in that first year came from existing family referrals with virtually no additional marketing cost. That is not a rounding error. That's almost half of our growth coming in from relationships that we already had. Here's the thing about referrals that most operators miss. Happy families are already talking about you. They're mentioning your program at soccer practice, in the neighborhood Facebook group, at the pediatrician's office. The difference between a business that benefits from those conversations and that one that doesn't isn't luck. It's whether you've built a clear, repeatable process that's going to make it easy to refer you and makes families feel appreciated when they do. So a spring referral activation is simple and highly effective. Send a personal communication to your current families, not a bulk blast. Try to pick a few here and there, but something that feels direct and warm, letting them know that spring enrollment is open and you'd love to welcome the families of their children already that they have in their family and their community. Include a clear incentive, a tuition credit, a priority registration perk, a gift card to a local business, or maybe a special event invitation. Give them a simple mechanism, maybe a referral card, a QR code link, something to an enrollment form, or maybe a copy and paste text they can forward. And then make sure your team is also equipped to mention the referral program naturally in conversations at parent pickup and drop off. The loyalty lead system also includes your community partner network, local pediatricians, child boutiques, toy stores, family photographers, enrichment studios, anyone who serves the same families you do, but doesn't compete with you. A relationship with 3 or 4 trusted community partners who send you referrals consistently is worth more than 100 followers on Instagram who have never interacted with you or your content. Spring is the ideal time to activate this network. Reach out with a simple offer. You'll display their materials at your front desk. You're going to mention them in your parent newsletter. You're going to share posts about them on your social media. all in exchange for maybe a flyer or referral card at their location. These relationships build slowly and they pay off in compounding interest. So start them now. 2 action steps I want you to take here. Number 1, send a spring referral activation message to your current families this week. Keep it personal, keep it warm. Something like, we have a few spots available for fall and would love to welcome families you know. If you refer a family who enrolls, we'd love to thank you with, insert specific incentive, whatever works best for you. But don't overthink that format. A heartfelt email or even a personal text gets better results than a perfectly designed flyer. And the second thing I want you to do is identify 3 to 5 local businesses in your community that serve families with young children. These are businesses that don't compete with your program. Reach out this week with a simple community partnership offer. Start with one relationship and then build from there. This is a slow build strategy with outsized returns, but it works if you start. Let's bring all this together today, my friend. We move from the spring enrollment scramble to a CEO level enrollment system. When you follow the revenue roadmap calendar, activate the ACE inquiry system to convert every lead with confidence, and turn your happiest current families into your most powerful marketing engine through the loyalty lead system, you build a business that families find, trust, and choose on your timeline. That's what leading a confident early childhood business actually looks like in practice. It is time for our manifestation minute. So grab some quiet moment if you can. It's mid-May and you are sitting down to your morning coffee before the school day starts. Your summer camps, well, those are full. Your fall roster, it's at 90% capacity. You are not staring at an empty class list or mentally composing a desperate social media post. You're reviewing your school year calendar, thinking about what comes next. The enrollment system is running. The pipeline is getting full. And you got there not by working harder in April, but by working smarter every month since January. So my friend, your next steps, number 1, download that free revenue roadmap at kellypeak.com, where you're going to find information about this podcast, episode 177, and map your enrollment calendar before the end of this week. Number 2, we have a small offer. Go grab the Marketing Made Easy playbook at kellypeak.com under shop resources if you need some more specific strategies around parent communication. There are templates, inquiry follow-up scripts, and enrollment content strategies that are going to turn your spring outreach into a system rather than a scramble. And then if you need that deeper support and you're ready to build that full enrollment system, all of those tools that I've mentioned, the revenue roadmap, the ACE inquiry system, loyalty lead system, the complete marketing calendar, it is inside our Shine CEO mentorship program. You can go find that out at kellypeak.com. Now, you built your early childhood business because you believe children deserve exceptional experiences and because you wanted a life that reflected your values, not just your workload. The families waiting to find you, well, they deserve to find you. And the enrollment systems that you're building right now, that's how that happens. Not through luck, not through last-minute Instagram posts, but through the confident strategic leadership that you are more than capable of. My friend, you've got this. Now, I can't wait to see your spring grow. I'll see you next week.